morning. It's Valentine's Day, and that means it's tater planting time. So if you're around South Alabama, that coincides with just about the time you ought to be planting taters. And so that's what we're going to do today. I got a little bit of lime to spread here, and also the last few times I planted taters, I had this problem. Those ants like to get in my taters and they will almost eat them completely up, especially if we see a little dry weather. So I was recommended some of this stuff to try. I'm gonna try that this year. Dimetris earth. Oh, I guess I'm saying that correctly. But it says here it's supposed to be applied at a minimum of 3 pounds per acre up to a maximum of 70 pounds an acre. And this 30 by 140 plot here is a little less than 10% of an acre. So if I put the whole 5 pounds over this whole plot area, that wouldn't be the maximum rate. So I'm not applying maximum by any means. The minimum would be 0.3 pounds. Whereas I guess if you're going to kill anything, you need to put at least the 0.3 pounds. So, I'm somewhere in the middle of that with just this 5 pound bag here. So what I'm going to specifically target is where I'm planting my taters, which is in this first row over here is where I'm going to be planting taters, and the rest of this will be planted later on. But so I'll target mainly this first row here and may have some left, and I'm probably going to hit that ant bed over there I just showed you with a pretty good dose. Now how do you spread lime? Now here I'm going to share with you my highly scientific method. Now, if you're not using the latest scientific technology in your crop growing, then you're probably missing out. So what you do is you take these bags and you load them in the hopper, and from there you load this spreading mechanism, and then you take it over here and you just sling it over there like that, and that's my highly scientific spreading for lime. But I'll come back and till it up. It's going to be mixed in, no sweat. So in all seriousness, pH is pretty important in soil. So this clay soil like we have here in Alabama is pretty acidic. So I just spread out 240 pounds of lime. That'll probably raise it a half a unit. I probably could double that. I tried to randomly disperse it as much. It's truly random, not uniform. As you can see, there's some clumps around, but I'll come back with the tiller and make it more uniform and less random maybe. So that's a good start. I'll also put some 13-13-13 fertilizer. Probably not the best choice for potatoes, but I'm just going to broadcast it out. It's pretty similar to this lime here, and it's a good fertilizer for most things. It's not ideal for anything, but it's good for about everything. So that's the idea with that. And get to some tilling and then plant some taters. So lots of fun. I'm expecting pretty good performance from this little plot because it was fallow last year. We had farmed it quite a bit, but I had a mulch pile with some sawdust and other green stuff that I had that I let ferment, and I spread that out over it with the tractor before I tilled it. And other than that, it was just grass that grew wild last year. So I think it'll do pretty good this year. So like 13-13-13 is 13% nitrogen at the first. So potatoes, it likes a lot of the other number, but I'm going by nitrogen. So nitrogen is 50 pounds an acre, say. So this is a tenth of that. So 5 pounds per acre, but that is at 13%. So you need a little more than 5 pounds. So whatever that is, 5 pounds divided by 0.13, that'll give you the total number of pounds you should have for nitrogen. And we'll just let the other numbers go. So I got a 50-pound sack of this Super Fox 13. That first 13 is 13% nitrogen. So I'm going to take that. 5 pounds over 0.13 is 38 pounds, which means I'll need 38 pounds of this. So I'm going to put out about 80% of it. And in old farmers' terms, we're just going to leave a wee bit in this sack. So maybe I can use it on a flower bed or something. I'll be used all the excess fertilizer I had, so at least the granulated kind. So that's what we're going to do. For this, I'm actually going to use this little broadcast spreader. Should work fair. So I've spread my lime and my fertilizer out. I'm going to spread a dab of dimetris earth out, and then we'll be tilling. But probably the best time to lime is in the fall, because that soil isn't going to, the pH isn't going to change immediately. But I'm not applying that much lime, so like I said, I could double that. But so that's just what I'm doing this time. It may not be the ideal thing to do, but neither is throwing the lime out by hand either. So we kind of do things our own way here, I reckon. Hopefully it turns out good. Well, there'll be no potato planting today because somebody forgot to cut the potatoes up. Not mentioning any names, but yeah, the taters are supposed to be cut where each slice has an eye, and let them dry it out. So maybe by Saturday we'll be ready to plant. Well, it's Monday after Valentine's Day, and our taters have had plenty of time to dry out after we've cut them in pieces. So we want to plant them about a foot apart and 2 to 3 inches deep. I could do that on my tilled ground by just digging a trench and doing it that way, but I'm going to use this middle buster here and make it a little easier, hopefully. The plow would actually go much deeper than that, but we're not trying to bury the taters, just 2 to 3 inches. So that looks to be like a good little trench made for that. So my seeds went about a row and 2/3. My rows are about 140 feet or so, and the next step is using this tool to cover them up. And there's a few grass roots here and there. I'll try to get them out as I go, and hopefully we'll have a nice crop. Last year, when the dryness came, the ants got in them, and they really diminished the yield pretty bad. So hopefully that won't happen this year. I'm gonna try to keep them plenty of water and everything, but we'll see. So there we are. We got it covered, and we can wait to see what happens. That end down there is pure clay. It's notoriously hard when it's dry and kind of sloppy when it's wet. So this end down here is more sandy, mixed with clay, so I really look for it to do better. I probably should have planted the other end of the row I had on this side because it's more sandy. But we'll see what happens. So that's how I'm planting potatoes this year. How do you do it? What tips do you have? What could I improve on here, and how could you do it better? I said I use 13-13-13 fertilizer, which is kind of a general purpose, but I know it likes the last number. I believe it is a little better than nitrogen, so but I also limed late, so that may affect it some, and tried a little Demetrius earth. So if you have tips, leave them in the comments, please. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.